Morning, good afternoon, or good evening to whomever it may concern. This is my financial advisory assignment, the statement of advice that I'll be presenting to Donald and Melania Trump. Okay, let's begin. Hello, Donald and Melania Trump. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me. My name is Zad Houston Johar, and I'm your financial advisor for today. Prepared a statement of advice based on the information that you have provided, and I'd like to take you through it now. This statement of advice outlines a tailored financial strategies to help you achieve your goals over the next 10 years leading up to your retirement. Okay, so let's begin with a quick summary. So, Donald, you're 55 years old working as a civil engineer, while Melania, you are 53 years old and working part-time as a nurse. You're both planning to retire in about 10 years' time and want to maintain your current lifestyle, including a retirement income of $130,000 per year. You'd like to be mortgage free, reduce your fees, and enhance your superannuation and take a $20,000 holiday within the next 12 months. This advice also takes into account your $100,000 inheritance, which you will be receiving shortly. So, the advice provided today covers superannuation, consolidation, retirement planning, debt management, investment strategy, and estate planning. However, my statement of advice does not provide legal or detailed tax advice. Where needed, I'll recommend you consult a tax agent or a solicitor. So, we can see here that your short-term goals include paying off your credit card debt, funding your holiday, which is in the next 12 months, and reviewing your investment property. Your long-term goals include retiring mortgage-free, maintaining your home, achieving a stable income in retirement, and protecting your estate. We build these strategies around each of these key goals that you have set up for yourself for the next 10 years until retirement. So we'll look over here. This is the cash flow and balance sheet. This is the information that you're provided, everything from principal residence, your total liabilities, total assets. And later on, I'll show the after my advice. So based on your responses, you both fall under a growth investor profile, comfortable with some market volatility in exchange for long-term capital growth. That means we recommend you a portfolio with about a 70% growth assets rate, like shares and properties, and 30% defensive assets, like bonds and cash. Okay, so now that we've looked a bit in your risk profile, over here is the insurance needs analysis. It's just standard. Some things that can be taken into consideration based on the insurance needs analysis is the fact that the couple don't have any coverage at the moment. That includes life, TPD, trauma, or income protection insurance. We also need to take into consideration that you guys don't have any children or financial dependents. This means that the need for income replacement is limited. You also stated that you don't want to use surplus cash flow to fund your insurance. This means that you're not willing to pay any premium costs unless it's drawn from superannuation. Because of this, I believe that the only insurance type that I would recommend is trauma coverage. I believe that you should consider trauma coverage via your super if it is at a low cost. Trauma coverage can provide a lump sum in the case of any health events, but it's not essential given your asset base. In the term of any other insurance types, such as TPD, life, trauma, income protection, I believe that you guys have the sufficient amount of assets to cover any liabilities and future needs. So it makes the need for any of these insurances moot. Donald, you're nearing retirement, which means that new insurance policies can come with a high premium and exclusion. This means that the costs may outweigh the benefits. All right, now we're going to get into the strategies that I have gathered. So to start us off, I believe that you guys need to pay off credit card debt immediately. So in this case, I reckon you guys should use $25,000 of the inheritance to pay off your credit card debt immediately. This removes any high interest liability and improves your cash flow. The remaining 55,000 should be contributed into Millennium Super as a non-concessional contribution to grow your retirement savings. Okay, so next is to sell the investment property and reinvest. So I believe that you guys should sell your investment property and then the rental return is low and the 700,000 mortgage is reducing your overall cash position. After selling and paying off the loan, you'll have about 300,000 in net equity. I suggest that you reinvest this in a diversified managed fund aligned with your growth profile to generate passive income and sorry, to that aligns with the uh, growth profile to generate passive income and reduce any financial risk. And strategy three is for the holiday. So you want to set aside $20,000 for your holiday. This can be taken from your current cash reserves in a high interest savings account, so you can enjoy your planned holiday without relying on any credit or interrupting any other saving goals that you have for the long term. So we have some benefits, some risks, and the goals for each of these. For the credit card debt, you want to become debt free before retirement. For selling the investment property, you want to improve retirement income as well as reducing debt. And for setting aside 20K for your holiday, you want to fund the holiday that you have within the next 20 months without, but and also maintain liquidity for your planned travel, achieve your short-term goal without relying on credit, any credit for the future, and avoid any disruptions to long-term goals. Okay, so here we have just some product replacements. So I'll go through this quickly. So for Donald, he currently has a direct investment property purchased in 2015 at a value of currently $1 million. I recommend replacing it and investing 300K of his net equity, into a diversified managed fund like VDGR, for example. The reason I feel like you should replace it is that there's a low rental yield, a high holding cost, which presents the opportunity to improve liquidity and diversify investments in line with your retirement goal. Okay. And for Melania, I believe that you should consider superannuation consolidation. So currently you're under Aware Super, which is a 30% growth rate, and Hester Super, which is a 90% growth rate. I believe you should switch both into Australian ethical balanced funds if it aligns with your values and performance. I believe this can help your profile, you know, match the strategic objective of your capital growth while at the same time reducing any complexity of fees as you're, currently with two different supers. Some alternate strategies could include retaining investment properties using an offset account. This can mean, Donald, you can keep your investment property, maintain your ownership while creating a 100% offset account using your inheritance and surplus income, which I know you particularly want to avoid, but this can allow you to retain the exposure to potential long-term capital growth. This can also provide you liquidity and flexibility if required. It can also be risky as it forces you to keep ongoing with the management and the holding costs. You can also begin transitioning to retirement strategy at the age of 60. In a couple of years, when you're 60 years old, you can withdraw from your superannuation while still working, and you can use the TTR pension to supplement income and increase super contributions. Melania, you can also do this down the road when you reach the age of 60. This can boost your super by implementing salary sacrifice while maintaining your net income. You can also establish a family trust for investment management. A family trust can be very helpful as it's tax efficient. You can protect your assets and your estate planning benefits. It creates flexibility in income distribution for future family members. So, a family trust can help minimize tax and protect the family's wealth for future generations. So that could be something that you take into consideration. So you can see over here, the cash flow and balance sheet. I showed you the one before, and this is for afterwards. So, you can see in the table above that 25K that I told you to use to abolish the credit card debt has reduced um, it's reduced your credit card debt to zero. Selling the investment property has allowed for $1 million to be reallocated into superannuation, and it potentially creates a better long-term growth for you, Donald, and Melania. There is an increase in net assets due to the notable debt reduction and increased super contributions. Okay, so this is just disclosure and disclaimers. So statement of advice has been prepared based on any information that you've given Donald and Melania. This advice includes superannuation, consolidation, retirement planning, debt management, everything that I've gone through. There is a prepared statement of advice. This one will incur a flat professional fee of $5,000. That's including GST, taxation and legal disclaimer. While some advice can relate to your tax situation, this is not professional advice coming from me. I advise that if you do want any professional advice, that you go to a proper registered tax agent or a legal advisor. You will receive PDS for each of the recommended products that you've been given prior to any implementations. You also have cooling off rights, which means that you're entitled to a 14-day cooling off period. This allows you to have a period of time to decide whether this product is right for you, or if you believe it isn't, then you can cancel as long as it's within that 14-day cooling off period. So now here is the 5-year financial projection. So using conservative assumptions, your net assets could increase from, you can see over here, around 3.5 million today to about 4.8 million. Over the around that range. Uh, could go from anywhere from there to there. And then 5-year cash flow projections, we can see that it also improves significantly, growing from 170K, you can see, to about over 500,000 in available liquidity across 5 years due to the lower debt repayments and smarter investments made. So yeah, it seems that it's just improvements. You can see there's like a rise from in the 5-year financial projection as well as the 5-year cash flow projection. Uh, and then we have the action to proceed. So in order to move forward, you'll need to sign the authority to proceed included at the end of the document. Once that's done, I can begin implementing the plan, starting with the consolidation, debt repayment, and portfolio setup. So, and here is the authority to proceed. This is where you'll sign here. You can read everything here. You received the statement of advice. If you want me to, give full implementation, like you can sign, you can tick this full authority or partial authority. You can sign here, partner, so Donald and Melania, and then I'll put myself over there. And that basically concludes the statement of advice presentation that I have for you guys. I'll open it up to any questions or feedback you might have. I look forward to helping you move forward with these strategies so you can enjoy a secure and comfortable retirement. Thank you very much.